This lesson is titled 11.3 and it is subtracting integers. And you really need to understand how to add integers before you'll understand subtracting integers. So if you haven't completed your assignments on adding integers yet, you really need to make sure you do that first. And if you're struggling, you guys need to reach out for help. Remember, I can't read your minds. I can't see your faces anymore. So send me an email if you think you're stuck. So subtracting integers. Basically, we are going to keep, change, and flip. Very similar to, the little words that we use to remember the rules for dividing with fractions. So keep, change, flip, or you can think of it as, no, I don't want to update right now. Or you can think of it as adding the opposite. You might hear it subtracting with integers with that phrase as well, adding the opposite. So I just want to give you both phrases. And so here we go. We'll make this example A. And so you might have something like 4 minus 2. Now I know you know what 4 minus 2 is. 4 minus 2 is 2. You're just dealing with positive numbers here. But I wanted to show you this as an example so that you can work with what you know and go from there. So 4 minus 2, we know that's 2. We could also write this equation or expression as 4, so keep, change subtraction to addition, and flip the sign of the 2 to be a negative 2. So these two things are exactly the same. These two expressions are exactly the same. Both of their answers are 2. Now, when you have just a regular expression with positive numbers like this one for A, you wouldn't have to keep, change, flip. You can just write the answers 2. That's fine. But it starts to get a little more confusing when you have negative numbers involved. So here's an example of when that might happen. Let's say you have negative 3 minus 1. And so here's where the keep, change, flip really comes in handy. Keep the negative 3 the same, change subtraction to addition, and flip the sign of the second number. So instead of being a positive 1, you end up with a negative 1 here. And then you follow the rules that you learned for adding integers. So with this particular problem, both of the signs are the same. So you add and you keep the sign. So 3 plus 1 is 4, and we're going to keep it a negative 4. Both of these answers would be negative 4. So let's write off to the side. After flipping, you need to follow the rules for adding integers. Okay, so again, if you know you're confused with adding integers, you probably should stop here and send me an email so that I can try to help you. Because you have to know how to add integers, because look, this is an adding integer problem and this is an adding integer problem. So you have to be able to do that before you can subtract integers. Let me give you a few more examples. So I'm going to clear my page. Make this example C. Oops, I meant to do it black. There we go. And how about we have 3 minus 8? Okay, so I'm going to follow the rules. Keep, change to addition, and flip the sign. So this becomes 3 plus a negative 8. So both of these expressions are the same, but the second one helps us because now we can follow these rules for adding integers. So the rules when you add integers, if you have different signs this time, you actually subtract them and keep the sign of the number with the larger absolute value. So our negative 8 has a larger absolute value, so I know that this answer is going to be negative. 8 minus 3 is 5, so this answer is a negative 5. And 3 minus 8 is also a negative 5. Both of those answers are the same. Let's try another one. Let's say we have 9 minus 13. So this one's very similar to the last one. 9 minus 13. We want to keep, change subtraction to addition, and flip the sign of the second number. So this becomes a negative 13. Now we follow the rules to adding integers. Again, when we add integers, if the signs are different, we actually subtract. So 13 minus 9 is 4, but we keep the sign of the larger absolute value. And so in this case, it would be a negative. So we've got a negative 4 for our answer. And that would make 9 minus 13 a negative 4 as well. Let's do this one. This one's a little different. We've got negative 6 minus a negative 3. Obviously, that looks very different than the last ones. We're still going to follow the same rule. Keep, change, flip. So keep the negative 6, change subtraction to addition, and flip the sign of the second number. So instead of having a negative 3 here, we end up with a positive 3. And again, follow your adding integers rules. Signs are different, so you actually subtract. 6 minus 3 is 3, but you have to keep the sign of the larger absolute value, which would be the negative 6. So this answer is a negative 6. This would also be. Let's do one more on this video. Let's do F. And this one's going to be very similar to E as well. Negative 5 minus negative 12. Keep, change to addition, flip the signs for the last number. So this is going to be a positive 12. Now follow your addition rules. Signs are different, so you technically subtract. 12 minus 5 is 7. This time it's a positive 7 because our number 12 has a larger absolute value. I hope this has helped you. Your assignments this week are all through IXL. We're going to try that out, and then I'll ask you guys for feedback, whether you prefer Big Ideas or IXL. Again, if you need help, don't hesitate to reach out and ask me.